All right, Kenman here, and today it's time for another budget scale die project unboxing. Ta-da!
Jeez, here we go again.
Indeed! Here we go! But before we start, I am not sponsored by anyone, and I purchase everything at retail price, and I do these videos because I love discussing knives and sharing info and ideas with others. If you have any questions or thoughts, please feel free to comment below. Amazon. Testing out another budget company that I have not seen, had, or have any experience with other than seeing it online. This one was under $30, and yeah, I just figured it was going to fit with the scale die project, so something we can try out and see. The materials that this one is made out of are decent, so it was something to try. All right, and there it is. Effengrow. One of those has got to be right? I think it's Effengrow. Yeah. Again, you look on Amazon. This is one of those companies that's got quite a few options, and they're all pretty much pretty cheap. And yeah, figure we can try one of them out, see what it's about. Like I said, this one here, it's D2 steel and G10 scales, so the materials we're starting off with aren't so bad. And some of these ones, we'll look at another one that I got that was really cheap. They're surprisingly decent. Interesting little box. I like the texture on there. And there it is. Just the box, just a bag. There's no little absorbing packet, nothing. Just this bad boy. All right. This is the Effengrow EF911. It's kind of neat. It's got these blue accents on the screws, and the pivot are all that kind of blue. Looks like this one's not quite the same shade as the others. Yeah, it looks, yeah, like I said, sometimes you get what you pay for. A lot of D2. Ooh, look at this piece. We could do that piece too. We could do that piece in a different color. All right. Okay, that's fun. Let's not get ahead of ourselves here. All right. Effengrow EF911 flipper tab. Here's what she looks like straight out of the box. Kind of a neat, aggressive looking blade. There is some contour on the handle. You can kind of see it kind of slopes down this way, this direction, and then back that way. You can kind of see some grooves on there. That looks like it's going to make a real nice texture. When we do the scale dies, it always kind of brings out that texture a little bit. And that's going to be neat when that pops out. All right, so flipper tab, like I was saying, liner lock. I've got this finger groove. It flips out fine. Let's see how high up, if I can go real high up. Doesn't like to do it, a little bit lower. I've got a couple others from Kubi and some others that I've had where they've got this big hole and you can't always flick it out from the top. You kind of get a little bit lower on it, and the flick action works pretty good. Go for the lefty. I'm a lefty. Yeah, you can flick that out decent. That liner lock is not bad. Nice flipper tab. This thing is kind of greasy, dirty looking. Ooh, I don't know if you could see that on camera. But yeah, it looked like it had a nice layer of kind of a grease on it. Sometimes you get that extra oil right when they ship a new one. Get that little extra drip that's kind of coming out of the pivot. All right. Got her cleaned off. What does everyone think about the look of this thing? Like I said, this was like $23. But when you have a D2 steel, that's not a bad steel to work with. Some of them are even like cheaper, pretty poor steels. I have some pretty nice knives that are D2, and I'm fairly happy with it. It can rust, but you take care of it. It's not that bad of a steel. Holds a nice edge. G10 scale, and then I'm noticing it looks like that spacer, big Backspacer, is also a chunk of G10. So we will be able to dye that as well, it looks like, which means we could do it a different color. You know, maybe we could try to dye that blue to match these to give that a little accent pop, and then do the scales in another color. That should be interesting. That'll be fun. Yeah, so blade, solid, not really moving in any direction, which is nice. It's amazing, these budget style or inexpensive knives, they can make some pretty good quality stuff. The centering, you can see right there, it is not perfectly centered. If I kind of shift it over, you can still see it's a little bit that way. So I can move that blade over just a little bit, get it a little centered more. Also, when I do the dye, you have to recenter it, because when you take it apart, you'll have to kind of make sure when you put her back together, you get her how it should be. So I can kind of fix that then. But right, you know, these days, I feel pretty much every company should be able to make one that's centered when you get it. Especially some of these cheaper ones that I've got were great. So everyone should be able to do that before they ship stuff out. You know, honestly, this is not a bad looking knife. Centering is off a little bit, but flipper tab, you don't have to push very hard. It works. That you can flick that out fairly easy. I don't know about thumb. That's kind of harder to do with some of these because of the shape of it. I don't know if it's ever something that I would do anyway. I have a few knives that you can do that with, but if I can finger flick it out, I will do that. Clipper tabs aren't bad either. They're nice and easy sometimes when you just need to get that knife out, do that work, put it away. Yeah. I'm kind of most interested by this extra piece of G10 in there. That'll be fun. All right, it feels good. Shape is interesting. Handle, this is definitely full size. It sticks way out. There's no skimping on the size of this thing. It's got 2 or 3 jimp, would you call that? But it also has got that little up sweep, so your thumb kind of sits in there nice. It looks like you could kind of tuck up into this a little bit, but I don't know how much I trust that. You can kind of get bit right there. You have to be careful. But holding her right there, draw. It's not a bad shape for my larger desire. Or, you know, I generally like knives that are a little bit bigger. This kind of fits it. All right, that was a fail. Let's do a little comparison here. We'll get the CJRB Pyrite because it's a common one that everybody knows and loves and likes. They do a lot of good things and a lot of cool varieties and styles on the Pyrite. So it's definitely, this Grow is a full size boy. It's big. Makes that Pyrite look a little bit smaller. Excuse me. Take a little sip here and drop stuff on the floor. Losing my notes. All right, let's look at the other Jade that we got right now. Most recent one I got was this CJRB Lago, I think. Button lock. It's got that little red accent. I like these little extra accents. They're going to be fun. You can help decide what you can use as a dye color and contrast it out nice. Got this Kubi Koyas with this white, which is going to be really nice little one. I'm going to try something different. A lot of them that I've done are solid colors. This one I'm going to try to do like a swirly kind of a marble texture pattern. What you have to do is you have to mix the dye with a shaving cream so that it doesn't move around, and then you can push the scale into that and let it sit with a specific kind of pattern that you've created on it. But you have to let it sit for a day or two because you're not heating it up. And so it takes a lot longer for the process to happen. But that's going to be my intention with that, to do some kind of a marble look or some kind of cool wavy kind of texture pattern. So what colors would you like to see that? This one is the Kubi Thalia. Like I said, all of these, let me know what colors you're interested in seeing. Here's the Sencut Crowley, nice button lock right there. Civivi Mini Asticus. This is that other cheapo. This is the Sativian ST801 $17 barely knife. Look at how I kind of pushed it down, but it drops, it pops out nice, it's solid. I mean, doesn't have great steel, but I mean, ultimately, if you just need to open boxes or something, this is not bad for that price. It's impressive. All right. Boom, that's the Jade and color, or this one's got a sand color to it, so that's going to make it a little bit darker. But these are the ones that I got right now. Oop, didn't see that corner there. Don't screw up the facade. But yeah, these are the ones that are going to die. Let me know what colors you'd like to see, and we can get them going. It's an exciting project. I think I've done 9 of them now, and I've got a playlist for them, and it's been going well. I've been liking it. Let me know what you guys think, if you've been enjoying them as well. The Zhangsheng flickable chef's knife. I mean, tell me that isn't super rad. I just finished this one, the Kubi Royal. I actually used a different blue than the other blues that I used, but I left it in a little bit. I actually didn't leave it in very long, but it ended up darker than I was expecting. It's more of an aquamarine blue, and this feldspar was my standard blue. You can kind of see that there is a variance in the shade. This definitely has kind of more of a lighter kind of a greenish blue to it, and this is more just a classic blue. I know you can't quite see as well. Had I maybe left it in a little bit less, it would have been a little lighter. But that's kind of the way this works. It's all an experiment. We're kind of just we're testing out, opening things poorly, and just seeing what kind of results we get, so that in the future, or if someone else is watching, they can kind of feed off of my results and kind of learn from that and figure out what it is they can do. This was the first purple that we did, but it was an orchid, which ends up giving a slightly lighter colored purple. So they're probably about the same amount of time dipped, but this standard purple is definitely a darker shade versus the orchid was a much lighter tint. I probably got about 10 different dye colors. I'm probably going to go buy a few more so I can get a few more different shades. Here's the red. This is the Civivi Vision FG. This Kubi I dipped for 2 minutes, and then the Civivi was literally 1 minute. And so you can see that difference. So this is a little bit more orange, this is a little bit darker. This does have the black liners, which kind of has an effect, but it's a solid piece, so you're not seeing any of that color come through it, because these are white versus the Jade isn't a solid color. But these, since they were white, you're not really going to get the black behind. It's going to play off of it, but not quite as much as it would as if it was Jade. But the same red gave me 2 different results. I'm actually really happy this Vision FG. I mean, come on. White was cool, but red is awesome. Got the Ferrum Forge Gent 2.0. That was in a yellow, and I left it in a little bit too long. And as you can see, the yellow ended up shifting to a green, which is kind of, I love the way it looked, but if I was going for yellow, I'd be upset if I really wanted that to be yellow, and we ended up with a green. But because I'm experimenting and I actually enjoy how that turned out, the green with the black looks cool, I'm not mad about it. So that's what's kind of fun about experimenting and just testing stuff. You get to kind of see you don't know what's going to happen. It's kind of the excitement about it. So yeah, if you're interested, you should check out a couple of my the videos on the channel of these dies right here. I've got one for each one of these. What color would you like to see this new one? Now that I've got an even grow, but it's got this extra piece. So I'm definitely, I don't think I could see myself doing that all one color, although it would look nice. It'd kind of look like one solid piece, almost like a integral in a way, right? But I think I'm going to do that one in a two-tone, give it an extra pop. Let me know what you think. Oh, this pocket clip is only one. Yeah. I'm a lefty. Not a fan when that pocket clip, you don't get any options other than that. These are the same. That's why, look, you can see my left-handed pocket clips are all switched over the other side. And then these two, or actually this one did give me the option, but it's so small, I don't plan on carrying it because it's just my hand. I'm not a fan. I want something more like this. I will always be one who's going to carry a larger knife. I'm not as worried about the size, the weight. I like that feel better. I would rather have this in my hand and in my pocket and use this when I need a knife versus the small ones. But everyone has a preference. Everyone has a style that they like. That's kind of why I try to get a lot of different things. You can see different stuff. I can test out different things and maybe expand my joy on some other stuff. You never know what you're going to like till you give some things a shot. But it's been fun. I've been enjoying doing the die project. I've got those other ones we're all going to be doing pretty soon, so watch for those in the future. I've got some other projects I'm working on, more unboxing to come, more fun other knives, and stuff like that. Leave something in the comments. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you'd like to see, anything you'd like to change, or what I can do to improve the videos. And I appreciate it. This is going to be it for today. If you enjoy what you see, please hit that like button and subscribe to see more. Helps me out, and I really appreciate it. Not a bad looking thing. Stay sharp. We'll see you next time.